G'day guys, Ed here from Unsealed 4x4. I'm here to answer your questions about the 2019 MR Triton. We put the post out on Facebook to basically see what you guys wanted to know, and we had a huge response. So let's start with the top, see if we can answer a few questions for you guys. First question, we're going hard here. Does it bend in the middle like all other Tritons? Well, we didn't really test that, but with a short wheelbase and a long overhang, hey, anything's possible. It comes down to how you use the vehicle. If you're going to overload it and load it poorly, probably nothing's going to work really. So look, we can't really answer that question yet, but it does have a short wheelbase and it does have a fairly large overhang. How would you fit a bull bar to it? Not easily. Not easily at all. We've seen a few designs from overseas that were quite leery, I suppose you'd call it, quite wild. But the problem is they just didn't fit right. You can see the actual shape, the lines of the flares, the bars don't match it. So while they might look, crazy and hectic from the front, they don't look right yet. So we're going to have to chase that up, see if we can get something locally sourced that's actually going to suit the vehicle, because at the moment that's a big ask. It looks like Optimus Prime, basically, whatever I've been saying. So not yet, but soon. What's the towing capacity? It's 3,100 kilos braked, 750 unbraked, with a 310 kilo tow ball downforce. So it's not the best in the class, but it's realistic. Now, the next question was, can it tow 15 to 1,800 kilos with ease? Look, legally, yes. I probably wouldn't want to tow too much more, because I think that motor's probably going to let it down. It's a really torquey down-low motor. I don't mind it with no passengers and no accessories and things on board. It's good enough. But once you load it up, I think she's going to start struggling a little bit there. So it is what it is, but it should do 15, 1,800 kilos, no problems. Now, for you rock rollers out there, what's the rear wheel travel like? Does it compare to the Hilux? Well, the Hilux, as you know, flexes really, really well in the rear end. It's done a really good job in terms of getting droop, which is what you want. That's what I want. Triton's really good, to be honest. We had it out in the tracks yesterday and the day before. We were lifting wheels to try and test it, and it nearly drops the tyre below the sill, which is always a good indicator that it's got a decent amount of suspension travel. So for stock gear, it actually flexes really, really well. Really impressed. Okay, does it come in petrol? Sort of. The base model two-wheel drive Triton does come with a 2.4 litre petrol. Anything with a transfer case, diesel only. You get stuck with a 2.4 turbo diesel, which, again, it's not the worst motor out there. It's really torquey down low. Just sort of crawls through off-road tracks, but it's still a little motor with one turbo. Okay, does it have vibration on takeoff? Yeah, sure does. When you put the boot in, it doesn't feel like tramp. It definitely vibrates, so there's an issue there, which is a real shame, considering it's got that stupid dampener hanging off the diff to stop this issue, which is acting like a giant sand catch. It's really a stupid design, and I wish they would get rid of it. There's a better solution, but I haven't seen many other manufacturers doing this, so not a fan of that. Any plans for a V6 petrol engine? Not that we know. We've had a bit of a dig around. I don't see it happening. Not with this model and not anytime soon, so I think you're going to be stuck with the 2.4. Okay, how does it compare with the last model, and is it worth the upgrade? And that's a bloody good question, that one. I think it is better than the MQ, but not much better, to be honest. It just depends what you need. This has got more safety, it's more polished, nicer inside, it's got much better traction control, which I'll touch on next. So the only reason I buy one over an MQ is because the traction control system is better. Having said that, you can fix that with lockers if you really wanted to anyway. Okay, the next question. The MQ had the worst suspension. It's so rough and hard. Is the MR better? Not really. Not really at all. It's the best way I could describe it in diplomatic motoring journalism terms is busy. It's very busy. It's very jiggly, very firm, but not too bad. Certainly not the worst. I'm spoiled. I've got really good suspension in my ute. So I'd be fitting aftermarket suspension to this. I'd be fitting aftermarket suspension to basically any new vehicle, minus, say, the Ford Ranger Raptor, which works really well, but even so, that's probably a little bit too soft. So, it is what it is, but I definitely would recommend aftermarket suspension, depending on what you want to do with it. Maybe you like a firm ride, a sporty ride, it's certainly got it. Okay, Have they done something about the annoying lag on takeoff? Nope. It's shockingly laggy. It's really bad, I'm sorry. You put your foot down and nothing happens. And it's not like it sort of throws you back when the turbo starts to spool up. It is still rather linear, but I'd be fitting an iDrive unit basically, because it's just going to allow you to have a little bit more control and try to get rid of that lag, because it could be potentially dangerous. It's not, I shouldn't say dangerous, but it could be potentially dangerous. Okay. Does it jump well? Probably. I don't know. Why would you want to jump it? But, yeah. Next. Have they made the traction control any better? Yes, this is a win. They sure have. The top spec, which we've got here, has called Super Select 2, which actually has terrain response mode, I think you'd call it. So you've got rock, sand, gravel, etc. So we tested that the other day, and basically in rock mode, you can just feel it's so aggressive. As soon as you slip, bang, it just grips. So yeah, really cool. I would buy this car just for that feature. I really rate that. Works very well. Do they have autonomous braking? Yep, there's forward collision mitigation. Yes, so you can actually see there's a bunch of cameras here. There's something up in the windscreen as well. It's all high tech for me. I still have a GQ Petrol, but yes, it does have a lot of safety features. So that's another benefit to the MR over the MQ. If safety and Apple CarPlay, things like that, that's your priority, this is your guy. Do they have air-conditioned seats? Sadly, no. No, they don't. They have heated seats, which with that faux leather, I keep doing this with the leather, on a cold Blue Mountains morning, not a bad thing to have. I really do rate that. Are the seats still rubbish? Look, I've got a bad back, and I'm kind of a lanky dude, so seats are really hard for me to fit in. They're okay. I'm just going to call them okay. They're better than previous models, the MNs, things like that. But I couldn't get comfortable. I found everything's too low. The gear stick's really low. You've got shocking vision over the bonnet. When you're off road trying to sort of crawl, you can't see anything. I had to find myself driving with the head out the window. I've got some footage I can show you later on of that. So combine that with the seating position. It's just, it's not right for me. You're probably not built like me. I'm built like a praying mantis. So if you're a normal human being, you'll probably be okay. But they're okay. The seats are just okay. They're not rubbish. Certainly not rubbish. And that's it. That's about it. We had a lot of comments about the looks from the front end, saying that it looked like Optimus Prime from Transformers, and it's kind of hard to argue with that. It's also really low. So once the bull bar comes out, I think it's going to totally change this vehicle, because it's a winner. I know we've been a bit negative with some of these questions, but it's not a bad ute. It's really not a bad ute at all. I think, considering the money you're going to save over, say, a Hilux or a Ranger, it's certainly worth a look. I